You could just do one question, like, what is your take on blah, 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 whatever comedy thing. People like that shit.
Well, that's another thing too with comedy it's all about, networking and just asking. And I'll tell you, I met Emma Willman at one of the clubs, and I follow her podcast, and she's just one of the sweetest people. And I remember another person I'm a fan of was Carly Aguilera. And I was like, Emma, because she messaged with me on Facebook sometimes and we'll chat. And I'm like, I wanted to ask her for a 5-minute spot. And Emma's like, let me tell you what I've learned in my career is always, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
Just doesn't hurt to ask, So, but I went to see Jen Kober when I was in Florida. Actually, Casey hosted for her. And afterwards I went up and I met her, and I had seen she posted her schedule and she was coming to 3 areas, right around here. And I was like, hey, Jen, I do stand up, and, I can send you a tape. And if you need someone to open for you, she's like, I would have drove an hour, all around just to, and she's like, I need someone actually. And I'm definitely going to hit you up. And it had been my second time meeting her, but then this all happened, but hey, I'm like all about it. You know what, if I feel like she's somebody that I think my comedy would go over well, with her crowd. And I mean, if I can host or something, I feel like I'm going to ask, I got nothing to lose.
You have nothing to lose. I think the thing is what I've learned, dealing with people and stuff. There's a lot of comics that, look, there's a reason why we do what we do versus like, other type of vocations or callings. So look, there's a certain level of like insecurity, mental, whatever.
Yes, there is. Look, no one's harder than myself. Even if I kill, I find something I did wrong.
Right. Yeah. So, but the thing is, and then some people, they're going to self-medicate. Yeah, there's some people, they're going to, on the outward, they sound like a total asshole or whatever, because maybe it's hard for them to handle certain emotions or whatever. But I do know that deep down, like if you, it's a level of trust, you know what I mean? Because with some people, especially if they're a star or a rising star or something like that, they're so used to people wanting something from them. Take, okay?
Right.
But if you have something to offer, it doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be something crazy. You know what I mean? But if you approach it as like, look, it's like a good salesperson. Like, look, you either want this or don't want this. Like not be a dick about it, but like kind of like not ambivalent, but it's like not that desperation. It's almost like the pretty girl at the bar. Okay, everybody wants to be with a pretty girl. All right. Why did she end up with XYZ guy? Okay, maybe there's some pretty girls that do because there's some guy has a Ferrari or they have a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it's like, wow, this is the first guy that talked to me like a fucking person. This is the first guy who really asked me how my day was versus just trying to get into my pants type of thing. So if you approach those type of relationships like that too, like, hey, you're just trying to connect with them like as a human being, people are going to be more open to that. And sometimes it doesn't work out because, look, they might already have an opener. They might already have a feature. They already have established that relationship.
Oh, yeah.
But they might be able to refer you to somebody else, or if you do get lucky, like, look, this is how like it kind of sort of used to be, where like, like my buddy Gene, like, which I think is like an awesome story. I think that he's still touring with Gary Owen, but basically, the way he said it was like, hey, when Gary Owen would come to town, like, I just so happened to be the MC at the Improv. This is when there was the Miami Improv in Coconut Grove. It was like, and then it got to the point where Gary Owen liked me because it wasn't only about the comedy, but it's like, are you a good hang? You know what I mean? Like, as in, like, are you a good person? Like, are you going to be like, like these guys are on the road a lot by themselves and it's very lonely. You know what I mean? So are you going to be like the idiot asshole that is like a headache to them? Or are you like almost like a welcoming presence of like, hey, you talk shit, blah, blah, but they feel comfortable with you. Like, it's like almost like their friend in the port, So like it got to the point where every time that Gary Owen was like in Miami, he would ask for Gene. Then it got to be anytime he was in Florida, he would ask for Gene. And then it got to be like anytime he was in the South, he would ask for Gene. You know what I mean? It helps if you have your own transportation and stuff. That's a big, big help. But now it's like those guys have been touring together for like years now, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I hosted for Takara Williams, like before the quarantine thing happened. And she has an opener that she brings with her. And she met him doing a show in Chicago. And as I had asked him, I'm like, how did you end up, because you don't even, like, she's in LA, he lives in Chicago. And he's like, I did a show with her and I went up to her and I said, do you need someone to open for you? I would love a chance. Mm-hmm. Just give me a chance. And she said, I'll give you a chance. And he's like, this is like my 6th show, my weekend with her.
Right.
But, she was awesome to talk to learn so much. She came in 2nd place on Bring the Funny.
Wow.
And just hearing that process, how she got that job. And, it wasn't like you tried out, like it was like her agent. And, it's a lot of, it's not like, you think a lot of those contests are, but, and every time I host or open for someone at the big club like that and watching those professionals do those 5 shows that whole weekend, I learned so much.
Yes.
Of just, and how tight their hour is down to like every move they make, every word, those ones that are so tight when they're not really, she's not a crowd work person. So it's, and I for me, I love it because I learned so much,
I'm telling you though, like we are in a new age that, that whole, that previous model of like, working your way up through the clubs. And then yes, there is a lot of validity to that. And I'm not knocking that at all. But I do think that like with you, like social media and the podcast, like this is your tool, that it's like, this is your platform. Like when I had a podcast way back when, what was awesome about it is that you end up getting fans, like a relationship with fans, with people that you'll never meet. They're halfway across the globe, but they'll be fans of yours until like the day you die type of thing.
Yeah.
So like really, I think that, don't make sure that, with your podcast, like if this is the direction you're going to go, like this is like having your own comedy club,
Yeah.
So like this is something, what's great about it, it doesn't matter if somebody couldn't get a babysitter on a Tuesday night to come see you perform at Yuck Yucks. You know what I mean? Like this podcast, like the episode that you put out this week, somebody might catch it 2 years from now, and be like, damn, like she was hilarious. Like I want to book Cindy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, like just as long as you're consistent with it, put it out there, man. I mean, you can do a lot. So like, don't knock it. Like, of course, develop those relationships with the comics and stuff like that. But like, this could be like, this is something good too. This is like you booking your own club,
Yeah. So I did, my co-host, she hasn't been able to really do a lot of shows lately with me. So I just started incorporating other people in. So, I mean, this is like episode 82 now, and awesome. I used to be on a radio, so I no longer am on the radio, which for me is a little bit easier because I can, we can do the F-bombs and be a lot looser than the FCC rules.
Right.
So, yeah, now I'm like, when I see cool other comics that I really enjoy, I, love to bring them on and pick their brains, and it's been great having you, and I hope to do some more Zoom comedy mics with you.
Yes, man.
And when I'm in Florida in January, we're definitely have to hook up at a mic. And my goal is to get on that improv stage. I don't care how I got to do it. I tried that like new comic night, and it was a bringer show. I'm like, what's it got to be for me to get my picture on the improv stage at Miami or West Palm Beach?
You know what you need to do? Because I know we're about to wrap this up. What you need to do? And from now until January, you figure out how you're going to position this podcast. No, seriously. Figure out how you're positioning this podcast so you can reach those people in West Palm, Rockford. But I'm telling you, if you can be a draw through your podcast, people are going, if you target it, I don't know how you'll figure it out, but you got time. You got now till January. That's how many months where you target these people who
just give me 5 minutes on that stage for my picture.
You get these audience members who want to come see you. I'm telling you, the improv will be like, what do you need? You can freaking headline this place. If you can
well, I got small goals, and one of them is just to get my picture on the improv stage. I'm working my way down my pictures. That's my next goal, is to get on that improv, get my picture with that improv in the back.
Yes. You will do it. All
right. Well, thank you very much, Rhett. It has been great chatting with you.
Yes, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for having me. And for all those people,
give a shout out for your social media.
Social media, you can hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me up under Rhett Thompson, or if you go online, Black and East Chick, just Google that. All this stuff will come up. And then, of course, on Instagram, you can find me at The Skirt, TheSkirt.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys later.